and welcome to another episode of Honest to a Malt with myself, Duncan Donuts, and Mike, aka Two-Puds. Welcome, Mike. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. How art thou?
Okay-ish. I've been on parenting duties today solely in the evening, so I've rolled out the red carpet for the closing in on a 5-year-old. Pizza Express. I mean, only princes go there, right?
Only princes and princesses get to go to Pizza
Express, exactly,
and
right?
they never appreciate it.
Yeah, they never appreciate it. You know, movie, puzzles, etc. I still got, where's Mummy? Mummy wouldn't have done this for you. She wouldn't have done it.
She wouldn't have done it. Appreciate it. Now back off.
Exactly. What about you? How are you?
Yeah, all good. I'm.
Good. People are worried about your back, Mike. That's all anyone
They
talks
should
about
be.
these days.
Still, obviously, no update from the hospital. So we'll see. We'll see. They need to review and let me know what's going on. But yeah, as I said to you earlier, I had new medication last night, which was pretty. I reckon you could sell this stuff for some good money on the streets.
They probably are.
I was fast asleep by 10 p.m. and woke up at bang on 7.
When they cut you off and they say you can't have any more, you'll be buying it from the streets.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen, except it's going to be dirty, the stuff you get from the streets. It's going to be just 10% your medication and 90%
a
rat's
thing
poison.
In the UK, it's just an American thing. So I think they call them buds in the States because they're red and white pills, aka like the Budweiser logo. But,
wow.
Yeah, that's enough drug advocacy. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, basically, all right, all good.
Sweet. What's the name of the episode today?
Today's episode, we are on episode 55, and it is the first rule of Whisky Club, and I'm leaving it there. You're all expecting more, but no, we're cutting it off. For copyright purposes, we can't say is.
I was, someone's trying to get me to start a whiskey club with them locally, and it got me thinking, like, should I, shouldn't I? So we're going to talk about whether you should join or start your own whiskey club locally on the pod today.
Yeah.
But first, what's been in your glass and what's been up your arse, Mike?
What's been in my glass is more SMWS than I care to remember. I went in for a tasting, sherry and scotch tasting, into the Greville Street one, decent. Of the three, would you believe it, was the Tawny Garibaldi that I got a bottle of from them. So
that was your favourite?
I literally went in, tasted it, went,
suck up.
That's the 14-year-old, isn't it? And he went, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've had that, love it. So, yeah, the other two were, all right, nothing special.
It's nice they sent you the good one, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And then I went downstairs and sampled some other things. They had a Scotia in the store, in the bar, that was decent. That was called a Vikings toothpaste.
Quite a few more bottles of that one as well, because they've used a few casks or a couple of casks together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth it. I think really nice. Quite strong. The toothpaste element is right. So if you're sort of mint...
I'm never sure about drams with mint, with spearmint or
mint
peppermint.
Intolerant? I just said spearmint.
I'm never sure about drams with a lot of mint in them, really. It's like you'd want no more than one bottle of whiskey in the cupboard that has a strong minty taste.
Yeah. Or you could brush your teeth with it. So, bonus. And then, what was the other one? They had 20-year-old Auchentoshan, Philosopher's Stone. So, the Harry Potter fans will be loving that. I think it was 137, I want to say, off the top of my head.
Was that what they called it?
20-year-old.
They called it the Philosopher's Stone.
It's going to be some claims going in there, surely, but it was magical. Just to play into it. And then we did blind drams. You missed out on this one. So once again, it was a really high scoring round, which makes me lol.
Yeah. Do you think there's a correlation between high scoring rounds and the number of newbies on blind drams?
No.
Just excellent whiskey.
Yeah, but it was quite an experienced Zoom panel that I was on. I'll say that while we were doing it. So, it was decent. The theme was all PX, chosen by Patrick.
Liask.
Patrick Liask.
Who's Liasking?
Yeah. Depends who's... Lee, you asked, mate. Patrick.
Yeah.
So you're all PX drams, and I think there was one Glencadam, or Glencadam, as you like to say. And then 4 SMWS releases. My highest scoring was a Kalila called Catching Combo, which was 53,462. I gave that 4 out of 5.
PX Kalila can't go wrong, surely.
Could have been higher. I think I scored 2, 4, 3, 3, 3. The last 3 was another Kalila, and I think that probably would have been a 4 had I not had a load of PX beforehand, because I kind of get sweetness out.
You literally had a sherry tasting this week. You must have had PX sherry at the sherry tasting.
I am so done with sherry.
It's very sickly. PX sherry is very sickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Super sickly sweet. And Oloroso sherry is so dry. Like, it's So dry.
They had some Fino, which we'll go into shortly as well, because it's included in a sample that we've got at the moment from the Hearach. And they actually had the sherry to go alongside the whiskey. And I think people were like, you could see them like visibly going, huh! when they tried the Fino, because it's so dry and unexpected when you're used to sort of like your Christmas sherry or maybe a PX, and then you get this astringent, face-sucking Fino.
I feel like the trick with sherry is just to spend a bit more, just get the age statement on it.
It's so cheap for the actual age and stuff. It's ridiculous value, especially after Christmas. I said to the guys in there, I was like, go to a Marks and Spencer's just after Christmas and you'll have like really good sherry reduced to like £2 a bottle.
Plus,
so can't get rid of
these days you can swipe sandwiches off the shelves and no one will chase you. So you get yourself, you pay for the sherry, just take the sandwiches.
This comes with it. Yeah. Comes in an avocado, apparently. Oh, yeah, avocado. One of the chaps in the tasting was saying he has, with his sherry, likes to have avocado, egg, and a little splash of lemon and something else.
Is this breakfast sherry? Is he having it for breakfast?
Exactly what we were saying. I was like, you are drinking a lot of whiskey for breakfast, young man. That is very good. But yeah, so that's been in my glass. Up my arse.
Go on.
TFL and trains. Oh my God. Not living in London, I forget how crippling it is when these, I'll probably bleep this out, fucking butters go on strikes that can't be asked to go to work.
Yeah.
And then, so I managed to get in. Train strike was the Tuesday. I went into London Wednesday. Everything was still shut, essentially, because the after effects of not being. I'm like, how the hell does that work? You just reset.
I just saw there was a train strike and I was just like, I'm just going to avoid trains, period, for a while.
But for a day after the strikes, how the hell does that work? That's just an excuse. That just shows is bullshit. They just can't be asked.
It is really annoying when it's like, it's one of those things. Trains need to work. Roads need to not be pothole free.
Automate a lot of them. Job done. Happy days. But I'll have the union people kicking right off now.
I'll drive. Look, if I'm allowed to drink, I'll drive a train. I'll take two-thirds salary. 2/3 salary. I'll drink. I won't go on strike.
Yeah.
But I will drink. So.
Well, I was going to walk over and I was like, 45 minutes. Safe. Normally, I'd be happy to walk, but I was like, with my back, I won't push it. So I'll just jump on a bus. So I jumped on the old red wagon outside of work, went the frigging wrong way on the bus, and I was like, so I got off and just jumped on a tube.
That's why I never get on buses. I rarely get on buses. I only get on buses when I really know the area well. Because it's too annoying when you go in the wrong direction. Because
it's like, it's not like the tube where you can just go dump, jump back. It's like you could get off and then it's 15-minute wait. And
it's often not logical because you think it would be going left or instead of right. But then you'll find the buses come round from a weird road and there's some sort of like one-way system or something. So you
go in the right direction initially. The bus is going in the right direction and then it goes the complete other way. How is that? That can happen anyway.
I can empathise
with you. Yeah, got on the tube and I was like, beautiful, fine. Tube's going to take 20 minutes and I'll be there. Job done. Tube breaks down at Farringdon. So I stuck at Aldgate.
Was it Central Line?
Yeah.
Yeah, it always breaks down.
Like, no, Circle, sorry. Circle and Purple, Metropolitan.
That's unlucky then.
So I was like, right, I'm getting off at Aldgate. So I walked out and I was like, I'll get a bus. No buses. I went, screw this. So I got, with my back,
You're stressing me out now.
I got on a Lime bike, mate. I got on a Lime bike with my back.
The green ones.
Yeah. And it was only halfway when I realised that there's bus lanes in London. I forgot all about them. So I was just mixing it with the traffic.
People look at you. People filming you going, that guy's mental. There's a whole bus lane there he's not using. What's he doing?
So I literally got to the tasting at 6:31. So I was a minute late and I was sweating just like disgusting. So apologies if anyone there is listening. But
you burnt some cows though, didn't you?
Mate, I probably burnt off one whiskey. Those electric bikes are mega. It's just like bimbling along. So yeah, TFL trains up my arse. Loving the Lime bikes. They're a good experience, to be fair. The Lime bikes,
right?
But maybe have a look for some cycle lanes if you're doing it in London.
I've not been
far
on
safer.
I've only been on the so-called Boris bikes. You know, the pedal powered ones.
Oh yeah, rubbish.
They're all a disaster. There's such bad nick. So.
Yeah.
You get on them and it's all over the place.
Oh, the death traps.
Yeah,
death traps. Yeah, it's like his rain. He brought it in like they were all good, and then he just left everything in chaos. That's the typical state. That's why we've had to get electric.
You just get on one, you're horrified, and then you get to where you need to go, and then the bike station's full of bikes, and there's nowhere to park it. And you have to cycle another kilometre somewhere and park it. You're like, what was the point?
That's what those ones are like. Right, you'd have to pay an extra £1 if you leave it. I'm like, I'm leaving it here. I don't care about that. That's why there's like bikes litter in the street because people can't be asked. I prefer to pay £1 to some multinational company than have to try and put this bike in a proper rack. But yeah. Anyway, rant over. I can breathe again now. How are you? What's been in your glass? What's been up your ass?
So I have just had the first of 48 samples of the 48 50ml samples in the Pogue Castle. And I think this is the definition of water of life. It's such easy drinking. So it's a 12-year-old, and apparently, according to David Mara, he says it is Bushmills 12. So I'm going to go with what he says because he knows his stuff.
Nice.
It was advertised at 43%, so this is a small up my arse. And they do the bottle in two versions, 43 and 40, and the 40% turned up.
No.
And so I was going to kick off, but actually having tried it, do you know what? It's super easy drinking, fruity smooth, vanilla. It's good. I mean, it's 12-year-old.
I'd still kick off.
Yeah, well, I might do, but I haven't got the energy today because with Amazon, I end up in a sort of circle of just it kept taking me back. It was like Groundhog Day.
You kind of need to take annual leave.
I was like in a Groundhog Day situation, like for 10 minutes. I was like, I'm not sure it's worth the £17 they might give me back. Anyway, basically, these were online for sort of 52, 53 quid, and then they went up to about 66 quid. So it's anywhere from £1.10 to £1.38 per 50ml sample. That's coming in at about £27 a 70cl bottle. That's pretty good for a 12-year-old Irish whiskey, because Irish whiskey is never cheap. I mean, and this is way better than any of the leading ones that they charge you 20, 25 quid for. Way better, because it's got that bit of age to it, right?
Nice. Anything else been in your glass above 40%?
Yeah. I cracked open the new that Tipples bottle. It finally turned up after about 2 weeks.
Your super bona find.
I was really worried it wasn't going to turn up. Actually, I
was trying to wind you up, texting you. Sure, it's not a scam.
Well, it was me and a couple of people were messaging each other going, "Yours turned up, mine hasn't turned up. Yours turned up, mine hasn't turned up yet." It was like there was genuine concern.
Yeah,
and I mean, like I cracked it open. I had a balcony dram. Nose is very tropical. I've poured it again now, so I've got it in my glass right now. I've had my warm up dram, mine a Pogue, and now I'm on to the Bunner. Just from your sort of 27 quid a bottle to your 130 quid a bottle. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. So anyway, the nose
he doesn't go over 40. He doesn't go over 40%, but that's how he rolls.
Yeah, for this, the Bunner's only 44%. To be fair, so the nose is tropical fruit. It's like peaches, apricots. I swear I got some guava in there. I feel like it's kind of like fleshy grapefruit or blood red oranges. A bit of spearmint. You mentioned mint earlier. Gentle peat smoke, very gentle. And then the palate continues the fruit. It's light, but then it has this kind of big chili, almost like alcohol kick. I'm sort of hoping that sort of alcohol kick or chili kick might go. I feel like it like mint leaves and maybe like some rolling tobacco. And really, there's a lot of tobacco, you know, like an empty Golden Virginia packet type thing, you know. Yeah. Rolling tobacco, right? And vanilla and tropical fruit, but very much tobacco and vanilla. And the finish goes on for days. That's what I will say, right? 25-year-old, ex-bourbon cask, Bunnahaven. It's decent.
Yeah.
Now, someone asked me, would I buy another bottle? I don't know. I don't think it's one that, you know, it's not. You're
glad you had it.
No, I'm glad
experienced an old dram.
I'm glad to have it.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of whiskey which, if I have in the cupboard, I will open. So, especially in the summer. So having another bottle, I feel like one bottle is enough for me. But I'm very happy to have the bottle, and I'm gonna sip it tonight and see if I eulogize about it more or if that's still the case.
No, fair enough. So you've gone from 40 to 44. And then you've gone up to 46 as well, because we've been sent the Hearach or Hearach sample.
We have, but hang on. But before you get into that, it was my birthday last week, and I was at the pub on Saturday. That's why I missed Blind Drams. We're having a big night out at the pub.
And so you want everyone to say happy birthday to you on social media?
No, that's not what it's about. Otherwise, I would do that thing where I would have said on social media, "It's my birthday," so people could write that. But did I do that? No, I didn't. Like. I don't care about that. The reason I'm saying that is because it was a big night out, and that's why I didn't do Blind Drams. But when we were out that night, we were drinking like Guinness, and then someone at some point bought me a whiskey, and they bought it, and the pub has a number of whiskies, and they were like, they wouldn't tell me what it was. They just handed me the glass, like, what is it? And the only reason I'm saying this is because I guessed it was Lefroy 10, and it was Lefroy 10.
Happy days.
Yes.
Were they gobsmacked?
They were gobsmacked. I wasn't really, because I was thinking, well, there can't be that many peaty whiskies they've got in the cabinet. It tastes really much more
Ardbeg or Lefroy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could have been Talisker, I guess, but...
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, yeah, I got something similar the other day, and it was Lefroy and Talisker, and I went, I'm going to go Talisker. They went, it's Lefroy. I went, all right, yeah.
There's a few whiskies it could have been, but it's, I was like, it's clearly is Lefroy 10. So I was happy to be able to guess that right. And it made me think it's much easier to guess whiskies when they're core range.
Yep.
It's so much harder to guess it when it's a single cask.
Obviously, yeah. And that's
you say obviously, but like most of the time when we're guessing blind.
Yeah, they are. But you think people have been paid a lot of money to make that whiskey the core range and keep that up. So that taste, they're striving for that same taste every time. So, yeah.
But I was looking at the stats from Blind Drams, which Brian keeps. So again, thanks Brian for keeping all the statistics. I made a bad joke today. I said there's lies, damn lies in Brian's Blind Dram spreadsheet, but that's not the case. Actually, the statistics are excellent. Anyway, he pointed out that how many blind drams everyone has tried just in that one thing, and you've tried 165 and I've tried 125, and I would say out of 125 I might have guessed a handful of bottles as the distillery correctly, right? Yeah. And he was also saying how many times people had said someone had scored 5 or 0. I'd scored 3-0 and I'd scored 3-5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think if I was guessing core range whiskey, when I've been sent core range whiskey by somebody or whatever, so much easier to guess. So it was really just to say that if you're doing your own blind drams, maybe build your confidence up by, and you haven't done it before, maybe build your confidence up by guessing some core range stuff. Because if you guess single cask, you're just going to be, you're just going to realise.
Get someone else to select them for you, or mark your glasses up and change them around, and just sit in it. Well, to be fair, I still do it. Like Lara, she can be asked to go down to the summer house, shed. Yeah. She'll like, what do you want? And I was like, surprise me. And she'll pour something, and I am generally pretty good at guessing my own collection.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but then. Yeah, that's something that you just sort of like work to. But if you've only got like 15 bottles, do that, mix them up, build your confidence up, as you say, in doing it, Steve.
Definitely. So you were mentioning we've got which whiskey we've kind of been sent a whiskey to try today, which I tried before the pod, and I've got the rest of it now, half of it to have another sip of.
Yes.
In a moment. So what are we drinking?
We are drinking the Hearach or the Hearach, depending on who you ask, or the Headache, if it depends how much you drink. It is the second release that they're doing. It's going out to the States shortly. There's batches 10 and 11, so I think that's in the UK already. It is a mix of first fill Burbs, Oloroso, and Fino. It's a lightly peated dram, 46% ABV as well. I've literally just tasted it as we were sort of setting up the pod. So I've got on the nose, lemon, orange, slight medicinal note of
nonsense,
peat, I should say. Rum raisin ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yep. And then floral note, which is going to come from the Fino.
Right, okay.
And then palate, I've got lemon, bitterness, again, probably from the Fino. I've put peanut skin, caramel, hint of crystallized ginger, and cola. All very pleasant.
We're drinking the same whiskey. I got like on the nose, I get kind of like honey, mustard, vanilla, cheesecake base.
I nearly put lemon cheesecake, so yeah.
The smokiness reminds me of creosote or like cured meat type stuff, right? And the smokiness kind of dominates everything else. It's like you have to separate it in your brain. You have to like put that smokiness in a box and then put it to one side. And then you're like, okay, I've contained the smokiness. Now I might find it. But the other thing is overall, if I tune out of everything, it reminds me of being in like an old clothes shop, like kind of mothballs or whatever. And I swear I get sort of maybe raspberries and strawberries in the nose as well, and actually running into the palate.
We do have two completely different nosing notes quite a lot of the time, though.
I did get lemon in it too, to be fair. Yeah. So,
palate-wise?
Palate-wise, I said it's very easy sipping. Then it's fruit first, and you get the sort of fruit like strawberries and things like that. Then it goes fizzy. It just fizz comes out of nowhere. It builds. Kind of sweet and savoury. I definitely get lemon on the palate. And I wrote this down. This is very specific. It reminds me on the palate. My mum used to slap this 0-calorie stuff that she put on her salad. It was like a honey mustard herb dressing that she'd pour out and put on her salad. And I don't know. It was one of those things. It was like, did I like it? Didn't I like it? I don't know. I had it sometimes because it made salad more interesting. So it's a memory from like a long time ago. But it reminded me of that. So I would say, generally lemon, honey mustard, herb dressing, some strawberries and fruit up front, sweet and savoury, easy. Initially easy, then goes fizzy.
Yeah. To be fair, like I said, for me, really easy sipper. So, thank you for sending it out to us. Appreciate it.
Have you seen all the beautiful marketing shots that people have been posting? It looks.
It's
like
amazing
a lovely place.
how many people have been to the Isle of Harris, despite how far away it is, and have got the same shot, same bottle by the looks of it.
I'm sure that Callum and Kate have been to the Isle of Harris a few times. I'm sure they have, because I remember them posting pictures and it looked like some were off the moon parts of it or something. It sort of had channeling kind of Iceland type vibes. So it looks like an incredible place to go. Now, I'm pretty sure this whiskey is at least 8 years old. Like, they didn't release, they had the luxury of waiting. And so all of those batches that they released.
They're probably waiting for a ferry to arrive. It's so far
Just
up.
looking at their watch going, any time now, boys. Anytime. 3 years we've been waiting for this ferry. We put it back in the casks. Anyway, it's 8 years old. I think it is 8, nice. Maybe even 9. It could be between 8, even up to 10, but certainly over 8. Beautiful place.
I was genuinely surprised how far out there it is. I was looking on a map just quickly before we came on. I was like, blimey, that is proper right up there. I
thought when I poured it, it beaded up really nicely in the glass. Ooh, whiskey speak. It beaded up lovely. It's quite thick. It's definitely got some legs on it, as they say, or
some viscosity.
Lots of very viscous. Anyway, on the finish, raspberries, watery strawberries, herbs, smoked paprika, more of that kind of closed shopness.
Mate, I want to have another sip. That's good enough finishing note for me.
It really reminds me of, on the nose, like the smell when I used to walk into the community centre when I was younger. The sort of when you go into like not a pub, but like when it's like heavily carpeted area that's like widely used by people, a sort of public space. Yeah,
it might be something in their dunnage, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. It's very. What I put in summary was it's super interesting.
You put in mothballs, community centre, and poor people is what you've said.
No, I'd say about poor people, community centre. What are you talking about? So, someone called me middle class in the last pod, and one of my friends wrote to me and said, "Don't take that."
Yeah, you're upper class.
You judge for yourself. Anyway, so I've put a very interesting whiskey, good complexity for age, but I don't want to smash it. So, just to be really honest, I think it's super interesting, but it's not one I think I'd have, a double or whatever, and it wouldn't be one that I'd session on an evening. But how they got all that flavour into it's quite impressive.
Happy days.
Come with me on a mission to find a community centre where we can drink, share a dram, experience some mothballs, bring your donuts, 2 of them. It's the Community Centre Sessions with Duncan, Whisky Tip. We're here all week. Bring the bottle, bring your miniatures, bring the drams to the castle.
I've got a couple of shout outs to do. So first shout out to Cast Compare. He was listening to the Watcher episode, and he says that it's reminded/inspired him that he would like to create a whiskey watch list. So watch this space. Fingers crossed that happens. Anyway, so also shout out to French GSP. That's the French George St. Pierre Hearach. He pointed out the fact that he's back on the, he's got into the prohibition from Hearach, so he's on board that train now fully. Excellent. Good job. David Brody, it transpires that David Brody likes to listen to the podcast whilst wearing Lycra, so make of that what you will.
It's got me going.
He likes to work up a sweat listening to the pod. Shout out, Dave.
Hello!
So, whiskey clubs. I have been flirting with, and somebody has been trying to...
Careful, your missus doesn't listen to this.
Encourage me to start a whiskey club with them locally where we live. And I was like, oh, it sounds like a lot of work. And then this is TCP guy, right? So TCP guy, the guy that like gets TCP in every whiskey he's tried. So he's actually he's a really solid guy. He's a publican.
Smell this Jameson's crested.
TCP, mate. I'm like, it's Jameson's crested. How are you getting TCP? Give him like the Frey 10. It's like, no, I don't know, chocolate.
Buffalo Trace.
TCP. Anyway, so
I'm not sure you want to start a club with this guy, mate. I'm going to put it out there.
He's into all the admin side of it. So here's the thing. There is no whiskey club locally to me that I can walk to or get a bus to within short distance. There may or may not be one in like about 4 miles away, which is miles in London. But
4.
That whiskey club is quite expensive. It looks like somebody who's making a pretty coin out of it, right?
Okay.
So there's no... affordable whiskey club to go to. Now, it's very important. I think there's a lot of chat at the moment about social media and how bad it is for you, how bad the phones are for you. And it's just a gentle reminder that it's good to get to the pub or get out and have a hobby or do something.
Yeah.
Like play football, whatever. But it might be nice to actually sit down and drink whiskey with people locally without having to get on a train and travel into central London or go to somewhere like St Albans, Birmingham, shout out anywhere really.
Edinburgh.
So he's been encouraging me, and it got me thinking, like, what's the work that's involved? Now, he happens to work out or run a couple of pubs. So he's like, there's a big pub close by, and he said, there's a whole separate room. He's like, he's already gone to huge, which is, I find quite intimidating. So he was like, I reckon we could get up to 140 people. I'm 140 people.
Whoa.
I'm like, how about we start?
You're going to have 6 people.
How about we start with 10, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like scale. It's quite intimidating. So, and then he always like, we could get brands involved. I was like, yeah, but then the whiskey, later. First off, we have to establish a group of people who are really into whiskey locally who are going to come regularly. Like, I'm asking you, Mike, that feels like the first step, right?
So, yeah, I've looked at it because, again, you've still got to line your pocket slightly because...
You don't want to be out of pocket.
No, the thing is, I think people, again, won't appreciate... Same as this. No one appreciates the time that goes into making a podcast.
Oh, there we go.
The time to set up a whiskey club.
Yeah, like, the podcast probably takes longer.
You've got to convince people to not only cover the costs of the bottles... It's the venue time, which you might have solved that one already. But then it's also your own time, choosing whiskies, getting bottles, getting glasses, setting things up. You've already lost a day. So you potentially lost a day of income from your work or life to do something. So, yeah, actually getting money back for your hard-earned work is one thing you've got to look up. But you have got, if it's in a pub, option of like beer pairings as well. Yeah,
we were talking about doing food pairings with it.
Yep. Massively. Like we always talked about doing that curry pod.
Oh yeah, curry.
You could have pub curry.
Oh my days! Imagine a whiskey club hosted an Indian. That'd be so niche.
You could do like an Indian takeover for a night and have.
It's always at the same Indian. That'd be so funny. Like everyone meet. What's the most? Did we have talked about this before? I wonder what the most common name is for an Indian restaurant in the UK. I'm gonna Google that.
A few moments later.
Anyway, go on. You were giving me some advice.
How easy can people get from there without driving?
Taj Mahal.
Never heard of it.
Well, that's apparently the most common name for an Indian restaurant. So we meet every month at the Taj Mahal, right? We have 5 drams and then
plain fare.
Yeah, a couple of onion barges and we're on the way home.
Yeah. How easy is it to get there for people without driving?
There's a lot of people around here, so I expect it to be footfall. It's it could be in Leytonstone or South Woodford or Wanstead or Chingford. There's so many people in each of those areas.
Affordable,
sort of 25 quid-ish, really. 20 quid.
Yeah, you need to price out the people that are just going to go there and do shooters.
I'd encourage that. That's great.
Yeah, you would not. You'd be raging.
I'd be raging.
If you'd gone to all this effort to choose bottles and you got like some piss
group of lads just turn up. Group of lads just turn up.
5 shots.
Got any more packs?
Flip a table, walk off.
Yeah.
Next one, please. No, that's it. What do you mean that's it? 25 fucking quid, got a bottle.
Yeah. Wait, don't drop it in your Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So
I looked to setting it up in Sevenoaks because I've still got Sevenoaks Whiskey Club on Insta is mine and sort of sat there because, again, affluent area, good train connections and stuff. Quite a lot of, as every high street and sort of busy area at the moment, a lot of empty venues, and people are looking, the ones that have got clubs and bars and things are looking to expand slightly and get people through the door. So
what I like about this one is there's room to grow. So if we were to go, he was like, well, we start in September, we won't start before that because obviously the summer and stuff. I was like, fair enough. Yeah. So we could get organised. So me and him are going to meet up a couple of times, IRL, and
IRL
in real life,
right?
As in not on a Zoom call with somebody.
LOL, ASL.
Yeah. So we're going to meet up a few times between now and then and sort of plan it a bit. But if there is any uptake in it, we can go to 30 or 40 people. There's room. So it's not going to be capped. And he was already talking about, the things you're talking about, which is like, getting, recouping some money, etc. I was like, I'll leave all that with you. You just take me through whatever it is. But because he's involved in running the pub, from that regard, he knows how to run these events and all that kind of stuff and how it's organised. And so all I've really got to do is rock up and just pick the whiskies and then...
Oh, that's it, is it? Is that what it is?
Rock up and host it, yeah.
You're forgetting the most important thing.
Advertising.
The name. Think of it. Mickey Mouse Club, the Dennis and Nasha Fan Club, S Club, Fight Club, Inda Club, all these names, iconic, Duncan. What is your whiskey club going to be called?
I haven't come up with a name yet.
Come on.
I haven't decided if we're definitely going to go ahead with it yet. I think actually my first step is going to be to look again.
Definitely maybe whiskey club.
Yeah, that's
music
good.
Pairings. Doom.
I was going to look again to check that there's definitely not another whiskey club that is close by doing affordable priced whiskey, because the first goal here is for me is to have a whiskey club locally that I can go along to easily get there in 20 minutes maximum, right? 15, 20 minutes. Ideally walkable, but if it's not walkable, busable. You can trust the local buses. You can't trust buses in central London, right?
Yeah, you can't.
So if I look again and I really can't find something, then I think it's a goer. But just because, like everything, like the podcast, things are easier in twos or threes, right? Rather than doing everything on your own, right? So he'll 100%. Take a bit of the load. He seems really into it as well. And it would just be funny anyway, because, be like, just him like, TCP. I can't wait. TCP.
He can make a little selection on the bar of drams where he doesn't get TCP. So it's the non-TCP malt of the month he can put just behind the bar downstairs. Like, if I don't get smoke on it, no one's getting smoke on it. This is your gentle dram of the month.
Maybe we can combine it. You mentioned bingo earlier. You were like 55 Snakes Alive. Maybe we can do a combo between bingo and whiskey, right?
Hey,
and people
this club's got it all.
The Bingo Whiskey Club. People say a tasting note and they get it called out on their bingo card.
Oh,
that's genius.
There you go.
That could be genius. And so you've got these things written down and people have to get the taste.
What do they win?
Oh my days. Honestly, Bingo Whiskey could be the hottest thing coming. This should have been a Dragon's Den idea. We should have been pitching this to somebody.
Pitching this.
That is genius. But Bingo Whiskey tasting notes done like actual bingo, right?
Yeah.
On your dram sheet. And you're like, oh, I've got that. And you're like, there you go.
Just to put a realist head on now, that's another cost. You're now going to have to get up custom made
bingo sheets.
Bingo cards.
That's all right. Get Cliff on it.
Cliff.
Shout out to Cliff, by the way. We don't shout him out enough, I think, for some of the content that he does for us. So big shout out to Cliff for making. He had me in stitches with the
candle down your chin.
The candle down your chin. It was the bit when it got to like the dialogue between him, the person eating candles, which is you, Mike, and the mum. And that had me really in stitches. That was excellent. I shall play that one again. Right?
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
Top,
to be fair, it made me
top class. So I had a look online to see if there was any kind of advice in setting up a whiskey club, and not really. There's like some sort of Edinburgh organisation that's sort of given sort of standard advice. Obviously you've got like famous whiskey clubs like the Bilston Massive. Maybe I should go there to do some research, learn first.
Good excuse.
Learn firsthand from Smedley.
Hey,
how it's done.
You're intending to use this as a profit-making organisation, so you can expense that stuff straight off. Boom.
That's Martin's intent. But my intent really is just to get a club going, I think, of some kind, right?
But you're going to make a slight profit, even if it's a penny. So
I haven't even looked at that side of it.
Just in case HMRC are listening. Hello.
Yeah, a Lambo. Oh, I can only have one dram because I'll be driving back in my Lambo. Maybe two if it's 40%.
No, it is good. Like, I'd love to have something around here that was within any sort of reachable distance. Like, I'm going to start working on the publican who's quite short-tempered Scottish, not far away, like 15-minute walk.
Right, okay. That guy that's not open all the time. Just sometimes
decides when he fucking fancies it, which is kind of decent, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, small local pub, if the owner likes whiskey or is into that idea, it's already a foot in the door. You've got your venue sorted. I could quite easily be we could have rival whiskey clubs. Not that I like competition, but if you're going to do it, I might have to do something as well.
I think the only way that whiskey clubs could compete
in a fight,
not complete. Yeah, in a sort of whiskey club fight would be if there was an event hosted where each whiskey club goes along to do blind tasting, which is a little bit like they do in Glasgow, I think, once a year, where they get groups of people together who probably often are from whiskey clubs who sit around a table and they all try some blind drams and then guess it. So
I think that's called the Whiskey Awards, mate.
is it? I can't think of any other way that a whiskey club could compete, really. No,
I was just alluding to having an old-fashioned fight. But
oh, right, okay.
That went straight over your head.
No, I got that bit, but I just, I'm not going to encourage violence on the pod. These are dark times now. I watched on Instagram some reel from Jimmy Carr, and he was like, "We've never had it so good. Like birth rates are incredible. Yada yada yada. If anyone that you idolized from over 50 years ago, they were having cold showers, you're having hot showers." And he's like, "Yeah, everyone's so miserable." It's kind of true, right? Because everyone's complacent. Everyone, we've got all this whiskey. Could things be worse? Sure, they could. But compared to previous decades and places in different places around the world, things are pretty cushy, right?
Well, could you imagine your grandparents at our age? I'm now sat in a little building at the bottom of the garden. Your granddad had been taking a shit down there. His outside toilet.
The outside toilets, right? And then he would have come back in. He would have been like, "Oh, I've got some on me. I've got to have a cold shower." Nightmare.
Yeah. Share a bath.
Opened up the whiskey cabinet and there'd been like maybe one bottle in there if he was lucky, and it would have been really some old school blend that tasted of soap, right?
Yeah. Or would have been actually amazing.
Or amazing, one of the two. Yeah, roll the dice. Yeah.
Back in that day.
Cold showers, having a poo outside, but drinking Macallan.
But cheap blends.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up. I'm not sure if I'd be happier, I think.
That's what I'm saying. So we should be positive about it. So I was thinking, the other flip side of whiskey clubs is it's really about getting out and meeting people. There seems to be a lot of stuff currently in the media about the damage of mobile phones. So I'm a bit conscious about how much I've been on social media. So I'm going to try to do a bit less on social media, like just not staring at my phone as much.
Are you going to stop putting so much Instagram content out because you love Instagram so much?
I barely do anything on Instagram. I do something like one a week. You're mocking me. I'm terrible at Instagram. It
does take so much blood.
Every time I go on Instagram, I feel like, whereas Twitter, it just feels like it feels like a free-flowing conversation with people, right?
Nothing really beats that in-person tasting experience.
That's what I'm saying.
SMWS this week, I literally listened. Well, I only spoke to half the table, to be fair, so I'm not that open. Right. But the half I did speak to,
you turned your back on the others.
Yeah. There's a bloke called Ramsey. Big shout out to Ramsey because he's now a new listener. He's reasonably new to whiskey, but has, dear Lord, it's like he's just gone straight in at peak professional level. He's hitting he's doing Fashiel, he's going to Campbelltown, he's doing all this kind of stuff straight off.
That's what people do these days.
I'm loving it. So,
there's no soft entrance to whiskey anymore. People just go full into it.
And I was chatting. I went, look, I'll send you some samples of the Scotia special editions and stuff, and get you some things out in the post. He's like, "You're going to send me stuff?" I went, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, everyone's so friendly," and I'm like, "Yeah, whiskey community is great."
Yeah,
and getting out genuinely really good. Chatting to some randomers. I love chatting to random people, but if I can chat to random people about whiskey, even better. It just puts you in a happy glow.
Yeah, I think the most positive thing that happened this week was that most of the whiskey that turned up when Maria was out. In reflection, just thinking about that, and it was just one thing that turned up today, which is the Hearach sample, and she's like, "It's for you," and I was like, "Yes, it is, but it is free. This one." And everything, I was thinking to myself, everything else that's turned up this week has been paid for by me, but you weren't about.
I try not to say it. Lara thinks this podcast is far more popular than it is. So she thinks all these new bottlings that
you've purchased,
I'm getting for free, and I'm like, mm-hmm.
Oh my days,
you pay for that, and I'm like, no,
buying 3 bottles of Loch Lomond Spanish Oak. 3 bottles.
I did write that down.
Even I was shocked by that. I want
when we tasted it with Gary.
I want one of those bottles because I missed it because I was in a
tough.
Don't do that to me. I was in a work meeting. I will buy one off you for £45. You don't need 3 bottles of it, Mike.
Yeah, it goes. It's like that was a special bottle. I really liked that when we did that tasting. I'll switch.
Hang on. I'll switch you one of those bottles.
Yeah.
For £45 of Napogue Castle. I can tell you exactly how many you'll get. It won't take me very long to calculate. £1.38 so was it £45? Was it 45 divided by 1.38? you will get 32 50ml samples.
I think I'll leave it, mate.
I
I think I'll enjoy the Spanish Oak coffee still. Single grain, but technically single malt.
I don't know if you've heard this, but actually in Venezuela, the currency has been replaced by bottles of 50ml in a Pogue Castle. Yeah. And that's what they use now. People just have that instead of money.
They tried Bitcoin, that failed so badly they've gone to the Pogue sample.
You want to buy something, you go to a shop and it's like 2 bottles, 2 50ml samples of the Pogue Castle for a sandwich. McDonald's.
How much is that full bottle of Napo Castle? That is 40 miniatures. Like, what?
It's currency in Venezuela. That's why they're able to sell it over here on Amazon so cheap. They're just buying it in Venezuela. They're trading it for something, and then they're bringing it back over here and selling it on Amazon so cheap. So
I'm very happy with myself. I literally had an email to say it's back in stock, and I was like, yeah. What price have they put
That's why you should always set up email reminders. I didn't do that. I missed it.
I went on $44.95 or something, and I was like, boom, added, and then went
3.
Yeah, I'm adding another 2. Yep, 100%. Well, to be fair, I had to pay like £9 shipping or something, because you're £9 away from free shipping. Well,
do you not have Prime?
If I'm that close, nah, do I hell?
I
could have driven down and pick it up.
You could drive down there.
Yeah, with my back, I'm not driving 25 minutes to get something and then try and sneak it in the house.
You're just stuck at the side of the road and someone comes by to help you and they're like, is everything okay, sir? You're like, oh, my back's gone. Where were you off to, sir? I was going to pick up some whiskey. Oh, do you want me to help? Oh, it's okay. Just 3 bottles of Spanish Oak, Loch Lomond.
No
3 bottles.
Now, no one can help.
They're on the phone. They're on the phone to the emergency services. Going,
hola.
I think he's got a mental problem.
Sí, señor. 3 Loch Lomond, por favor.
Meanwhile, I turn up and the taxi's come and help, and I'm trying to pay the taxi driver in the Pogue Castle. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah.
How many's that?
Trying to whisk away 1 bottle off me. You're only 3.
I do want one of those bottles, in all seriousness, actually. So
you can fight me for it. In fact, no.
I'll come round one day. I'll have a few drams. You'll be all cheery. I'll have said some nice stuff to you, and you will probably just give me a bottle, or maybe
we'll do a bottle swap. How's that?
Bottle swap. It is. That's actually a lot better because I've got whiskey coming out my arse. So
yeah.
All right.
And I know the price of stuff you've paid, so no fucking trying to rip me off.
I wouldn't do that to you. Why am I laughing?
My God.
Why is it such an evil laugh? It was uncontrollable.
Such an evil, because the lies are coming out there. He's like, oh, I've had that for free, so I'll give this to Mike.
I would say the absolute vast majority of what I have is all stuff that I've bought. I can't stop buying stuff. It's a curse, right?
It is a curse.
I've got a curse on me in the same way that I believe that Harry Kane, the footballer, was cursed by a gypsy when he was younger. And that's why every club he goes to doesn't win anything. And I think I've got the same thing, but it's about buying whiskey.
He's destined to just travel Europe, ruining clubs.
Goes to Bayern Munich, who won 9 years in a row. They lose. I mean,
the best bit was they lost after they took him off. Game's done, mate. Off you come.
Unbelievable.
Thanks for letting me play. Good luck, boys.
I feel like I have a similar type of curse. You know, it's just not a professional footballer, but I just can't stop buying whiskey. Yeah. And I just I must have it. But in reality, I don't need any more. I haven't done it.
It wasn't even FOMO. It was just, it was FOMO for really good value.
FOMO for value is the worst for me. That Spanish Oak is outrageous.
That Spanish Oak is decent at 60. It's great at anything below 60. It is outrageous.
You've got to try it to believe it. That's the thing. I think I couldn't have been convinced without trying it. The proof is in the pudding with that whiskey.
Yeah.
100%. So watch this space on the Whiskey Club then. Basically, I will give updates if it's going to happen. And if I do go ahead with it, then I will share any kind of learning experiences from it.
Drop some notes on the socials as well about like what you actually like in a whiskey club, what you sort of expect.
Give us some advice. I mean, we know
costings, what you'd pay for a tasting.
Lots of them have their own whiskey clubs, so feel free to tell us. Like Mike said,
very lucky people, very lucky.
Yeah, or relocate and bring your whiskey club to Sevenoaks or South Woodford.
That's far easier.
Do you know what's actually going to happen? I know it's going to happen. There won't be any whiskey clubs. I'll start one, and in the same month I start one with this guy, 3 others will start. It's like
you'll have some
sod's law, isn't it? Right?
Some super rich millionaire that just wants to give his money away.
There's loads of big houses around here, so the guys can afford whiskey. That's for sure. Whether they want to risk coming out from behind their giant gates to come mix it with some other people in a pub.
As we said, you're upper class, so it's fine. They'll be okay in your company.
Cravats are mandatory.
Silver spoon, essential.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see how it goes. So it's very much a thanks for listening from me.
Thank you for listening from me. As always, follow us in all the usual places at honesttomalt.com, at honesttomalt on social media. Duncan's on at Whisky Tip, and I am on at Whisky Wings. We will see you on the next one. Bye bye. Ba-dum. Ba-da-ba-da-da-dum.
Hello! Greetings from Isla on a Tuesday morning, the last Tuesday in April, the last day of April. Officially, if you say March, April, May was spring, this could be the last day of the middle of spring. My arse. The weather's crap. We are out on the Bamore peatlots. There I myself, and there are 3 dogs. Let's see if we can see them. We have got Roo. We have got Blind Jake McScroggins, officially, according to the Honest to a Malt boys, the most famous dog in whiskey Twitter. Jakey, that's you. And here he comes, Rocky! Doggy daycare Rocky. Having a great time. So the weather is officially shit, but that's okay. Out getting a bit of fresh air. Fairly straight. That's enough, you pair of arseholes. Jakey, stop being a prick. Getting the exercise in. Have a big cycle this afternoon on the exercise bike on the Wahoo kicker, and I'm glad that there's Rocky chasing geese. What a prick. Glad the plane got in, because big crowd coming from America for a special event, and they're coming to see me tomorrow at Bonaham. So look forward to seeing Nancy and all her group, and Greg's bringing a couple of pals as well. See you then. Okay, I'm going to go. Be good. Love you all. Bye bye.